I'm not going to let some girl I knew for 3 days ruin the rest of my life. Unless they plan on coming over here to Thailand and coming to my condo and holding me down on the ground and taking my DNA, it's never going to happen. They'll take all your money. This is insanity. This is extortion, is what it is. It's extortion by the state. America's supposed to be the freest country on the planet. That's what they scream, freedom, freedom, freedom. But if you don't fill a piece of paper out correctly, they take your freedom from you and lock you in a jail cell with murderers.
Hey, you guys, you know my buddy John Boseak, he kind of fled to Thailand. He's a digital nomad and he's living his best life over there. But there are some other issues. Recently, in the last few years, and especially in the last few months, I've had multiple sheriffs show up at my door asking about him. That's what we're going to be discussing today.
But I want to tell you, I didn't mention this to you, although this is not going to be shocking at all. Not yesterday, day before yesterday, another process server.
Yeah.
This wasn't a cop, though. This wasn't a cop, and it wasn't the postal service. This was just some guy knocked on the fucking door.
Yep.
So I'm assuming it was a process server that he maybe he worked for the post office. I don't know. I don't think so, though. He wasn't driving a post office thing, but he did have a little pad. And so he knocked. I hear this, that somebody rings the doorbell. I come downstairs. I open the door. I'm like, yeah, what's up? And at first I thought, because he had the pad in his hand, it was a small one. And I thought, I'm looking for a package. And I was like, hey, what's up? And then he said, you John Boseak? And I was like, no. And he goes, he said, does he live here? And I went, no. And he said, do you know where he's at? And I went, Thailand. And he goes, really? They always say this. They always go, really? And I'm like, yeah. I said, I know it sounds crazy, but yeah. And he goes, He goes, hold on a second. He starts looking.
Trying to find a picture to make sure you weren't me.
No, I don't know. He said, I said, what's going on? He said, it doesn't really give me an option for Thailand. He said, it gives you like 10 different excuses I can put. He said, I don't know. I guess I'll just put moved. And he clicked on it. He said, okay. He said, thanks. I said, all right, no problem. That was it. But that's when I remembered that. And then you and I talked and, about doing this.
Yeah.
And,
listen, ever since you went on Danny's podcast and you said I've been running from child support, I've had a never-ending stream of absolute fucking weirdos coming on my YouTube channel and leaving crazy comments.
Like what?
Oh, you're running. I'm a scumbag. I'm a deadbeat dad. I'm running from child support. I need to face my problems. I need to come back to the U.S. and blah, 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 blah. It's like, listen, I want to clear something up immediately right now before we even get into this.
Okay.
I have never been ordered by a judge to pay child support my entire life. I have never been in front of a judge and been ordered to pay child support. I have never taken a paternity test to prove that I'm the father to even get me in front of a judge to take a fucking to be ordered to pay child support. Okay,
right.
So I'm not running from child support technically.
Right. So
I'm not going to let them serve me any papers. Listen, right. I'm not going to let some girl I knew for 3 days ruin the rest of my life. Period. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen to me. I watched my father go through that his entire life. Listen, my dad's a good guy. Never broke the law, doesn't drink, doesn't smoke, doesn't do drugs. He's not a scumbag. And he was always in jail for child support because of my mom. Okay? I'm not going to live my life like that. Period. They're not going to get one single penny out of me. I promise you that.
So, all right, let's listen. Let's start at the beginning.
Seriously.
How many of these chicks are out there? Just one. Wait a minute. But there's other kids. You've got a kid.
But they're not trying to get me for child support or paternity test or none of that shit.
And the one chick, what happened with this? She's already got a bunch of kids, right? Like this is like her MO.
When I met her, she had like a 2-year-old and a newborn. Then apparently she says I got her pregnant, which I don't believe. And then right after she had my kid, she had another one from somebody else she just met. So it's like a what do they call that? A pig farm. She's just cranking them out. It's like a chicken farm. She's just laying eggs constantly. I'm sure she doesn't work a regular job. I'm sure she's unemployed. So she goes to the state for benefits. And because the state's giving her benefits, they, pursue whoever she says is the father with whatever extent of the law they can push it to. And that's what's happening to me right now.
So she's getting benefits from the state. No matter what, she's getting the benefits, but the state's the one who's coming after you.
Yes. Yep. Because she gave him my name and she's collecting welfare from the state. Yes.
How long has this been
going on? I'm the deadbeat.
Right. So how long has this been going on?
Since 2017, 2018.
Okay. So this was after, I mean, obviously after you got out of jail. When did you get out of prison? When did you get 14 or 15? 14, 15?
On my 30th birthday. And then I went to California in 2016. Me and my wife split in 2016. I met her in 2017. And then I knew her for 5 days, literally 5 days. And after the fifth day, you know what she told me? She says, I like Josh better. I want to be with Josh, my friend.
Okay.
So I said, all right. I let her go with my friend and be with him. And I moved to California and I never talked to her again. And then all of a sudden I got sheriffs showing up at the house in California trying to serve me paperwork for a fucking paternity test. And they've been trying to get me ever since.
I wonder if, she because obviously she's going to have sex with Josh. So, probably fairly quickly. So I wonder if she's Josh
having sex with Josh because she was living with Josh when I met her.
Okay.
Because she's like his cousin or some shit. Yeah, exactly. Dude, it's all.
Where is this? Where is this? What?
Backwoods fucking Nebraska.
All right. So
Nebraska in the middle of the cornfields.
So she probably went after Josh first.
Yes.
And Josh took a paternity test and it's not his. Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe he did. Maybe he didn't. I don't know.
She's just trying to figure out, hey, okay, well, then it's him. And then that guy.
When I
lived, a Jerry Spring episode.
When I lived in this small town in Nebraska, I had the nicest car in the town. I had like 4 cars, and they were nicer than anybody else that lived in the entire city. Okay, I had the nice house on the main strip. I had the nice house. I had the good job. So I'm probably the most responsible man she's ever come in contact with her entire life. And so that's why she's just relentlessly pursuing me, is because she knows that she might be able to squeeze me for a couple dollars here or there.
So,
so unless they plan on coming over here to Thailand and coming to my condo and holding me down on the ground and taking my DNA, it's never going to happen. It's never going to happen.
So do you think that they know that you're like on YouTube? I can't.
Of course. She just followed me to date on Instagram. This morning, she followed me on Instagram. So they know I'm in Thailand, and there's nothing they can do about it.
Let's see. Yeah, so you moved in with me. What was it?
21.
21 and 21. So just for those watching, here's how this came about, is that Boseak moves in. He's doing his YouTube videos and stuff, and you weren't home, or were you home the first time?
I was probably at the tattoo shop.
Oh yeah, you were tattooing. And one day I get a knock at the door, and I don't know. That wasn't the cop. No, that wasn't the cop. That the first time we got a knock at the door, you were dating some girl. You ghosted her, and
I wouldn't answer her phone calls. I told her to piss off. And she sent the sheriffs to the house to do a wellness check.
Right. So I go and I knock on the front door one day. Knock on the door, open the door. There's two. Well, they were plain clothes. I'm not plain clothes. Sorry, they were in a uniform. They were like sheriffs. And I open the door and I look, and listen. It doesn't matter, bro. When I see, it doesn't matter if I'm doing anything wrong or not. I open the door and there's a couple of cops there. I immediately think, "Fuck, I'm going."
My light's over.
Yeah,
this
is it.
So
I'm thinking, what's happening? So, and I've told you this before, like my fear is that I've talked to some guy, I'm in their phone as their contact, they get indicted. And just because my name's in their phone, they add me onto the indictment. I get arrested and I have to try and explain that, no, listen, I talked to this guy, but I don't know what he's doing. Yeah. Anyway, the point is I opened the door and my first thing was fuck. And the cop goes, John Boseak, or no, he goes, here's John Boseak. And I went, no. no. And he looked at me and he goes, and he said, is he, and my first thought was, fuck, I am on federal probation and you just lied to this dude. You'd better fix this. And I thought, fuck. And before I could say anything, the other cop started to ask if you were, does he live here? And the other cop goes, he's not in trouble. This is a wellness check. We got a phone call. That's all this is. And I went, you mean John Boseak? And they looked at each other and they go, yeah, John Boseak. And I went, yes. I said, he does live here. And I said, what's going on? They said, well, we got a phone call from somebody who's concerned. He's not answering this woman's phone messages or responding. It's a wellness check. And I said, oh, yeah, I know who it is. And then I called you on the phone. You answered the phone. So it was, what's your name? But that's not the only time that the cops have shown up. So then another time, not long after that, you weren't here again. And I got a knock on the door. And this time it's like, well, we were already getting letters. You were getting letters and you'd get the letter, you'd look at it and you'd throw it away. And then one day I get a knock on the door. But see, I didn't really know what that was about until I think that we got the knock on the door and I answered the door and there was somebody who was a process server and they go, John Boseak? And I went, no. I said, why? What's up? And he goes, is he here? And I said, no, he's not here. And he said, and he goes, does he live here? And I think I said, yeah, but he's not here. And that was the first time. And I was like, why? And they said, is he at work? I said, yeah. No, they said, where is he? I said, I think he's at work. I said, I don't know. I don't know where he works though. I don't know what the address is or anything. And it was like, cause I didn't. And then I kind of started to realize, oh wait, I better just, I don't need to answer any questions,
Right.
Like, and he was like, okay. And he did something. He said, all right, thanks. And then he left. And then like 2-3, then the letters, I think then we got more letters. Then a couple months later, somebody comes.
They're relentless. They're absolutely relentless.
Well, that's when I was like, hey bro, this guy came by and you were like, I don't live there. You don't know me. I don't live there. I'm like, okay, well, they know you live here. They're coming here. So that's not, I'm not going to do that, but I'll just say you moved. Sure enough, a month or so later, another fucking guy. Hey, is he here? I said, nah, bro, he just moved. Moved. You guys came, he moved like a week later. They're like, okay. And then you told me they were also coming where were you before this that they were coming? Was it another state you were getting?
California, when I was in California. So the sheriff showed up to the house where I was living in California and right outside of San Francisco. And because I was living in a house where there's an older gentleman who owned the house, but he was always at work. So there was a couple of guys in the house, and I told one of the guys to go downstairs and answer the door. And if the cops are asking for me, just tell them I don't live here. Right. So he went downstairs, and sure enough, they were asking for me. And he's like, no, he doesn't live here anymore. The next day I moved to LA.
Right.
The very next day I moved to LA. And I lived in LA. And then when the pandemic hit in 2020, this was 2019, when the pandemic hit, they weren't serving shit. Like nobody was coming to, give me anything at the door, no process servers or nothing like that. So after I moved from California to Phoenix, my cousin that I was living with told me that process servers were coming by the house trying to serve me paperwork. And then when I moved to Phoenix, I was a ghost. I didn't register my driver's license, address, none of that out there when I was out there for that very reason. And I went and lived in an office space that I was using. I wasn't supposed to live there. I was using it. I rented like an office to build for a podcast studio.
Right.
And I had like a futon. I was just sleeping on the futon. I had a little mini fridge and a microwave. And I used to go to the gym. I used to go to the gym every morning and shower and I had it going on in Phoenix. But then when I moved to, when I came to stay with you, I moved from Phoenix.
So, okay. So, then let me think. So then after you had moved here, after that guy had come, the couple of them, then I got another one. Then one day I remember it was the mail lady, right? Like the mailman, the chick from the mail lady, she came, same thing. No, he doesn't live here. It's been gone months. Then I want to say, I don't know if you had left. You left. I had a sheriff come by after you left. Cause I remember I called you. I said, bro, sheriff came by. So he came by. Hey, are you John Boseak? And I was like, no. I said, and he goes, what did he say? He said, does he live here? And I went, no. I said, he moved. He said, you know where he moved? And I go,
you should have told him Thailand, but okay.
I go Thailand. And he said, He goes, really? The same thing. They always go, really? Like but not like they don't believe me, but they're like, really? And I'm like, yeah. He goes, is he coming back? I go, no, never. And he said, he said, okay. And listen, I stopped. I almost said, you should subscribe to his channel, but I didn't. And I remember as soon as he left, I turned around to Jess and I go, man, I almost told him to subscribe because she came up behind me when I'm like, no, Thailand, never come back.
Yeah.
And when I closed the door, I turned around to her and she was like, she started laughing.
Yeah.
She was just like shaking her head. And I said, I told her, I almost fucking told him to subscribe to his channel.
The girl followed me this morning on Instagram. The link is in my bio to my YouTube channel.
Right. Oh yeah. She's got to figure it out.
They know where I'm at now, so they can piss off. Because what's the state of Nebraska going to extradite me from fucking Thailand for a paternity test? Come on. Listen, if something like that were to happen, they would play hell with me. I would be the most unruly person they have ever dealt with their entire life. I guarantee you that. They would have me in one of those Hannibal Lecter masks and strapped into a chair, wheeling me into the courtroom. I guarantee you that.
And you've already got a passport. Like, I don't know.
There's nothing they can do.
Right.
They can't even put a warrant out for my arrest. This is civil. They're trying to serve me paperwork. They can't put a warrant out for my arrest. I'm not going to jail. I haven't broken any laws.
Because I remember after the cop came, we were like, whoa, this is getting serious. And I called the one of the lawyers that I've had on here. What was his name? Mike? Was his name Mike? I forget his name. God, he was hilarious too. But I called him and got him on the phone and said, listen, let me explain the situation. And I laid it down very clearly. Here's what's going on. And laid it out. And he said, there's nothing. He said, because we were concerned, like, can they get a warrant? And he was like, no. He said, look, they could. He said, if he had taken the test, it said it was his. Yeah. And he said, and the money accrued, then he said some states would take the extra step of getting a warrant to try and throw you in jail. He said, to get him to start paying. He said, but they can't even, if they can't prove paternity, then he said, yeah, that's not going to happen. They're not going to be able to get a warrant.
No.
He said, at this point, they can't even really do anything other until they can prove it. They can't put it on his credit. They can't garnish his wages. They can't get a judgment, nothing. He said they have to be able to get paternity.
Yeah. Listen, I've already gone through this with one kid before. Okay. When I was 17 years old, I got this girl pregnant. And then because I was 17, her parents didn't want me to have anything to do with the child. They wouldn't let me come see her. They wouldn't let me do anything. Because I was 17, I was on the street, I was getting high every day. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't the most responsible human being on the planet. So I don't blame them. I'm not, faulting them for that. But and then years later, they tried to hit me. They tried to do the same thing to me. They tried to, listen, everywhere I moved to, they were sending child support paperwork, or you got to pay child support, you got to come to court, you got to take a paternity test. She's 23 now. I dodged that bullet. That paperwork stopped fucking 6 or 7 years ago when she turned 18. So it's just one of those things. It's just one of those things, like, be careful who you stick your penis into, because it could ruin the rest of your life. Unfortunately.
So if they did grab you, prove this, and you had a job in the U.S., they can what? They can garnish your wages?
Well, then I'd be fucked, buddy. I'd be proper fucked. They could suspend my driver's license. They could garnish my wages. They could take my passport. They could do... There's a lot of options that they have at their disposal that to completely ruin someone's life over child support. I think it's insane. I think the whole thing needs to be overhauled, because the thing, they completely ruin your life. They'll take all your money. Like, I've seen people's checks before and after child support. And I'm like, oh my God, this is insanity. This is extortion, is what it is. It's extortion by the state. The state's taking your money. That money, so what they're taking out of your check every month for child support doesn't go to her. Like 60% of it goes to the state, and they just take it and add it to their budget for whatever they're spending the money on, and then the little tiny bit goes to the woman who's actually getting support for the kid. It's a racket. It's a complete racket, and it's extortion by the United States government.
Well, it's the U.S. It's the state, but so when I was in Florida, I had a broker that was on child support. And I don't know, he's like, oh, I don't know what her problem is. I pay. But I used to get letters every month saying, hey, take money X amount of dollars out of his, and it was like 40%. And I was like, it's 40% of your, now luckily he was 1099. So I was like, but still, so it's like 40% of your gross. And I was like, then you have to pay about 25% on what's remaining, not on what's remaining, on the gross still. So I'm like, after taxes, you're getting about 35 to 40% of every dollar you make, you're getting like 35 cents.
Yeah.
You make a dollar.
And listen, like I said, I watched my dad go through it his whole life. And it's like, America's supposed to be the freest country on the planet. That's what they scream, freedom, freedom, freedom. But if you don't fill a piece of paper out correctly, they take your fucking freedom from you and lock you in a jail cell with murderers. What is that? That's why I'm not there anymore, buddy. Okay? That's why I'm not there anymore. That's why I left. Because you know what? People complain about it, and they never do anything, and they never leave. But guess what? I have the right to complain now because I actually did something about it, and I left.
So you researched going to Thailand for a while.
And by the way, Thailand has extradition. Thailand and the United States have had a great relationship for like 150 years. I just read a plaque the other day on the side of the highway outside the U.S. consulate. It said Thailand and the United States partners for over 150 years or whatever. So they do have extradition. It's not like I'm here fucking hiding from anything. Everybody's like, oh, you're hiding. You're on the run from the law. Bunch of retards. Complete and total retards. If I was hiding from anything, they would just come over here and get me. I had to register this address with the Thai immigration, with the government. So the government knows exactly where I live. To even get a visa, I had to register this address. I had to fill out something called a TM30, which I had to register with the Thai government. I'm a digital nomad. That's exactly what I am, okay? I'm a travel vlogger, okay? And that's how I'm living my life now.
What happened the other night? The other night we were going to do one of these, and you said you were with the guys from One Night in Bangkok.
That was my birthday. Yeah, One Night. So the One Night in Bangkok podcast here. There's a gentleman by the name of Eric. He's from Boston. I think he's a little bit younger than me. He's in his mid to late 30s, might even be his late 20s. I don't know. Runs a really cool podcast here with I think the name is awesome. One Night in Bangkok. Yeah. You cannot get a cooler name than that from a podcast here in Bangkok. I think it's awesome.
When you were here, you were pissed because it was taken. You were like, what would be a good name? And you were like, hold on. And you came and you were like, fuck.
That's how I found the podcast.
Right.
Because I was like, dude, I want that. That's what I was going to name my podcast when I moved here. And then when I moved here, he's seen me on your podcast. And he was like, oh, I seen you on Matt's he's seen the episode where I was talking about moving to Thailand. And once he figured out I was here, he was like, he hit me up and I went and did the podcast. And, I would like to think that me and him are pretty good friends now. Whenever I need anything or advice, whatever, I hit him up. And he invited me out on my birthday because him and his co-host, they run they do like a pub crawl. But it's not pubs. It's like rooftop bars and nightclubs and shit. Right. And they had something worked out with each club or bar owner where they go, they go, okay, I'm going to bring 15 people here tonight. And then we're going to need a table and bottle service and, no cover for all these people. Because we're going to come here, we're going to buy drinks, all that, this, that, and the other. Just so happens, one of their event nights fell on my birthday. Right. So they invited me out. And, they invited me out. And I went out and we did 4 or 5 different clubs, a rooftop bar. And then they take me to this big giant club and they got sparklers coming out with bottle service for me. Just for me, with a thing with the chicks holding up the happy birthday thing with the sparklers going off the top. And I got to wear a birthday sash that says happy birthday. Okay. And I got to dance on the stage with all the girls and it was fun. It's not my scene. Right. You know what I mean? I stopped going to clubs and stuff when I was in my 20s. But I figured for my 40th, it would be fun. And it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. I didn't make it home till 5 a.m.
Did you video it?
I did, yeah. I went on. I did a live stream while I was at the club, and I got a bunch of video and stuff. Yeah,
I've mentioned it to Jess once or twice. I'm like, we ought to think about going out there, and she's like 30 hours on a plane.
It's not 30 hours.
What? How many hours is it?
It's 3 flights. Okay, you're gonna have to fly from Tampa to Atlanta, and from Atlanta to South Korea is 16 hours.
Oh my god!
Yeah, but if you get business class, they got beds. In a big TV for you. You can lay down in bed and watch the big TV. I was stuck in coach. next to an old Korean lady that raw dogged a 16-hour flight. I don't know how she did it. No headphones. She didn't turn on her TV once. I didn't see her on her phone. She was like this with a blanket up to here for 16 hours. I couldn't believe it.
How much is that flight?
I paid $700.
From Tampa all the way, all the flights is $700
to get here. I paid $780 for my flight to get here.
You paid a year in advance.
I bought my plane ticket the day I got my passport. So I got my passport in October?
Oh, okay.
September, October?
No, it had to be. I think it was probably September because it was
still warm out. It was still like summertime. Oh. So yeah, I got my so September, and I flew out in December. So
okay, 3 months.
3 months in advance, yeah.
Well, wait a minute. You went to Atlanta. Then it was then there's another flight
to South Korea. And then once you get to South Korea, there's another flight from South Korea to Bangkok. And that flight's like 5 hours. Fuck. But listen, once you've been on a plane for 16 hours, that 5-hour flight ain't shit. And the 16-hour flight, you're sleeping. You're going to sleep for 9 hours of the flight. And they serve you meals. Okay? That comes with the flight. They serve you 3 meals. Like every 2 hours, they're waking you up and they're bringing you like a legitimate meal. Not like some fucking crackers and a little bottle of water. You know what I mean? Like these are legitimate, like chicken and rice with like a soup and a side salad. Like it's a legitimate meal. And there's TVs. You can watch TV the entire time, watch movies. The seats are super comfortable. We've been on international flights before. These aren't like the little planes, the little domestic planes you get on.
It's not Spirit. It's not Spirit.
It's not Spirit Airlines. I flew Korean Air.
Listen. Every time I go Spirit, I try and get the upgrade for the front face. I think on the way, I just went to Vegas, and on the way back, I was sitting there and, whatever, playing with my phone. And all of a sudden they go, oh, we have, 3 seats upgrade. Boom. I jumped up, went fucking straight there. Boom. How much? Okay, I'll take it. Because on the way to Vegas, I didn't. I got the exit row thing, which is better because you have more leg room.
But I'm satisfied with exit row as long as I get the window seat.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I had the aisle seat, but so I did exit row, and the seat beside me, between me and the other guy was empty. So that's great. You can put your shit there. But this time, and I was just like, but it's still uncomfortable. So, and when I walked in, when you're going to the plane, you look down, you see the big seats. I thought, man, when I come back, I'm getting that seat. And sure enough, I did. And when we booked the tickets, that every time you book the tickets, by the way, it almost always says it's full. The front seats are full.
Yeah.
And then you get there and they're like, oh, upgrades. We can do an upgrade.
I think there's a racket there.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
I think they book them online so nobody can book them, and then they jack up the price a little bit and make you pay like $100 for the seat when you're already on the plane and you're already in that little seat. And you're like, fuck it, I'll just spend the money and get the seat. You know what I mean? Like it's a sales tactic, I think.
I went to Vegas recently, and I'm going to LA to do some guy's podcast called Greg the Lawyer.
Never
something like that. He's got like 10 million subs. Every video he puts out gets 3 or 4 million. The problem is they're all like 15 minutes. 22 minutes, 8 minutes. Like, so he's trying to do long form content now.
Is it like he just doesn't care, or he just doesn't get it?
No. I think what's happening is he realizes, like most people, you get people, the 20-minute videos get more than a 2-hour video or an hour video. They're going to get more views. Yeah. And he's putting out so many.
Gotcha.
He's trying to make up for it. But now I guess the person I talked to said he's going to.
I would think by the time you get to 10 million subs, you'd have that figured out that you need to put out longer form content to make more money. But
what he's figuring, listen, he's got a production set. Like this guy's not. He's
not pressed about that YouTube check.
No, he's kicking ass. So, and he's a lawyer. No. So, but I think obviously he's starting to figure out, or maybe he's going to start another channel. I don't know. They're going to fly me out for like, I'm literally flying out one night, doing the thing, flying back the next day. That's it. So whatever, that's, 24 hours. Plus I'll probably see if I can meet with the producer that I'm working with on my story. Yeah. Never did get anything back, by the way, from our, we won't name the name, but I never got anything back from that. Neither did Tom. So we'll see what happens. Tom said we're probably too old for their demographic.
I had a meeting with her this morning.
Oh yeah.
And she told me that she likes my story the best out of everybody she's interviewed. And then after we did it, I had to tell her my story, and she recorded it, and then she's going to send that to like the people who make the decisions.
Right.
So I did like a condensed version, and I hit all of the bullet points, and I was like, if there's anything you want me to expand on, or if there's anything you want me to elaborate on, expand on, just let me know. And then at the very end, I hit her with the sizzle reel. So I shot her the sizzle after, and she's gonna send that with my my interview to whoever. But she says that, and listen, she says that they start recording. They start recording 28th of this month.
Yeah, that's how this was. It was like immediate. I talked to them a week ago, and then they're like, "Okay, when can we do it next week?" It's like, so if anybody's listening that doesn't understand what we're talking about, is that when you do videos and you do a lot of videos, and for crime stories, you tend to get approached by producers, or whatever, executive producer, whatever. They all have different names, talent agents, whatever. That you start getting these emails saying, "Hey, we're producing,
we're casting, we're casting for a certain show right now. Right. Are you interested?" And then they interview you. You tell your story. They take that recording, they send that off to production. And production makes the final decision on whether or not they want you to be part of the whatever they're filming.
Right.
I have an offer right now. Obviously, I can't say anything because I signed an NDA. I can't even say who it's for.
No, it's pretty big. Anyway,
I'll talk to you after we.
Yeah. So listen, it's so disappointing. Listen, when I heard more about it, I was like, "Fuck, bro!" Like usually I can give a shit. Usually I get these things. Listen, I can't tell you how many I've gotten. I just haven't filled out. Like I mean to fill them out. I'm not being a jerk, but I'm like, "Oh, I'll do it later. And then I forget about it. And then a month and a half goes by, and I'm scrolling through. I'm deleting emails, and I'll see it. I'm like, "Oh, I've never filled that out." Maybe a producer will contact me, and I get them all the time saying, "Well, I used to." Saying that they want to do a documentary on me. And I'll set up a meeting with the production company, and I'll do the producer thing. I'll talk to the producer, and then he'll say, "Well, we got to let's do another one with my team." And then you do one with 3 or 4 people, and then it drags on and drags on. Maybe they come back and they want you to sign something, and so they can start pitching it. And that's typically how it goes. Now, if it's if they're like an episode, let's say it's a series, like My True Crime Story is a series that was on VH1. If it's some kind of a series, that usually happens the same way, but it happens much quicker. Within weeks, they come back, they go, "Okay, we definitely want you. Then we want to fly you out to New York," whatever it is. Just like your thing, you got flown to, what was the one you did recently?
For the Discovery Channel. They flew me out to LA for that.
And it was Hustlers
and Crooks, or Hustlers, Gamblers, and Thieves, or something like that.
Yes. And they're on their second, I think this is their second
season. I was going to email her this morning because she said it was supposed to come out. The episode was supposed to come out this month, but I haven't gotten any emails or anything letting me know.
Oh yeah, brother. When they're done with you, they could care less.
They don't give a shit. You'll catch it on TV. Wait a minute, they didn't even tell me it was coming out.
No, somebody will hit me up on the comments. They're like, "Bro, I just watched your episode of whatever." You're like, "Oh, is that out?" So I've done a few of them. They flew you out. They also got Ted. I'm sorry, not Ted. They got Jeff Turner.
Jeff Turner, yep. And what's the guy with the cars? The kind of big dude with the beard.
JD.
What's his name?
JD. Was it JD?
Yeah. JD went out and did it. So. Yeah.
So I mean, this happens, all the time in Boseak, and it's funny because what happens is they must peruse the true crime channels because they hit up.
I asked her how she found me, and she said it was through TikTok.
Through TikTok, okay.
And I told you it was that 11 million view TikTok I got floating around on the internet. It's probably fucking 12, 13 million views by now, which is insane.
No, the one that's on my Shorts channel, it's at 12 million.
12 million views. That's bananas, dude. 12 million people have looked at this space.
Yeah. there's other ones. That's the highest. There's other ones that are 6 million, 7 million, 2 million.
Listen, I was talking to a girl on a dating app over here, and she's like, "Are you on TikTok?" And she sent me a screenshot of one of those 11 million view TikTok, but it was all in Thai. And she's like, "Is this you?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's me." Dude, it was so crazy. Yeah. So it's making its rounds over here too. And the amount of times I get recognized here in Thailand it's mind-boggling. Like, people stop me at the mall. They're like, "Hey, are you that Boseak fella from YouTube?" And then I was sitting at a bar with my friend the other day, and like, you can sit like right in like the streets right here. Like, here's the top, and you can like look at everybody going by on the street. And there's two guys walking by, and one guy glanced at me, and then he looked back the second time, and I did like this at him. He was like, "I was just watching one of your videos yesterday." So it's like, I'm in the algorithm over here. Like, people that are here in Thailand are watching my content, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's super cool. It's especially cool if somebody's with you. Like, listen, if I'm walking through the mall and somebody sees me, I'm by myself, they're like, "Oh my God, hey, Matt Cox." I'm like, "Hey, what's up?" And I'm thinking, that's useless. It only feels good if like my wife is with me or a buddy is with me. Then it's like, because then your buddy's like, "Bro, that guy, it's nothing."
Yeah. It's fun.
What are you doing? What happened with the Russian? I'm sorry, he's not. Is he Ukrainian?
No, he's from Belarus, but you can say he's a Russian. So we're still putting it together. I'm waiting on him. You know, I message back and forth with him all the time. Basically, what it is we're trying to, because I have to fly down to Phuket, which is like, it's like an hour and a half flight from Bangkok south. It's in the south of Thailand, and then, you know, like, I don't live there, so. And he wants this to be the English channel, because he only does YouTube in Russian. He only speaks Russian. His English, he doesn't think his English is that good, but it is. But it's with a real thick Russian accent.
Right.
So he wants me to lead the interviews, because he wants to interview English speaking carters, you know, criminals, scam artists, whatever. But what it is we want to get like a whole week's scheduled, like back to back. And then once we get all of the guests scheduled, I'll fly down, we'll get in the studio, we'll knock out all of the interviews, and then I'll just fly back up here. So that's kind of what's going on right now. That's where we're at. We're just trying to get all of the interviews and everything scheduled.
With the Clips channel, because you're running the Clips channel, right? So my Clips channel, if anybody wants to join, go to, because it's not like it's got like 8,000 views or 85.
8,000
I'm sorry, 8,000 subs.
Almost 9,000 now. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but you know, it's funny because like the Shorts channel took off. Like, we'll do something and it'll take off. Some things take off, and some things, I mean, are dead. We have a Spanish channel, which is hilarious, but it's got no view. I mean, it gets nothing. It's got like 400 fucking subscribers. Like, nobody watches it. Same thing with, we started a Facebook page, and you know, hired a company, they pumped some money into it. They got a bunch of followers, and you know, one little post would take off, and then the other ones are getting like 300 views, and the other one suddenly 30,000 views, and then but it just never.
That I was contacted by a gentleman by the name of Zach. He said he contacted Colby. He said, I don't know if he's talked to Colby or he's talked to you about setting up like a Facebook thing.
Okay, so look, Jelly Smack had run ours, and we got to a point where we're like, listen, we're not making any money here.
Yeah.
So we got to the point where, you know, you have to sign a contract. Yeah. So when our contract was coming up, we were like, look, we want out of the contract. So then we really didn't do anything with it. We were planning on it, but you know, Colby's got so much stuff on his plate. So after a couple of months, somebody contacted me, and I sent them to him. And then he came back. He said, look, I had a meeting with those people. They said they want to run the Facebook page. It was basically the same kind of thing.
Yeah. Somebody contacted me, and I don't have a Facebook page. So I just set up a Facebook page because it can't hurt. It can't hurt anything.
No, listen, these guys are making it work.
Yeah.
The guys that before we never made any money.
Gotcha.
These guys are making money. They're not making a lot of money. They just started out, but it's starting to make a little bit of money.
It may be the same person that contacted me and wants to do mine.
Possibly, because the guys that are helping us are running our Shorts channel have reached out to several true crime channels, which have then, like Johnny Mitchell contacted me and said, hey, who are these guys? They're contacting me. They use you as a reference. How are they doing? And I was like, bro, they're amazing. They're doing great.
Yeah.
But they're strictly true crime.
Right.
Like they're not really doing anybody else's channel.
In my channel is kind of difficult because my content's all over the place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I don't just do interviews. I don't just do vlogging. Sometimes I do just the talking head stuff in front of the camera. Other times I'm running around all over the place filming stuff. Other times I'm interviewing people, which I have a Patreon now. And I just do I just interview people with my GoPro. Like I'll have it on them and I'll ask them a question, they'll talk, and then I'll spin it back around and I'll talk, and then I'll interview them. And that's how I've been conducting interviews for my Patreon now. Until I get like a legitimate podcast studio to actually film podcast videos with, that's what I have to do.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you do it in your apartment, like you got to get rid of that echo. You're gonna have to throw some.
Oh yeah, no, this place, it's got high ceilings. It's got super high ceilings. So yeah.
We're going to tell you one more thing. Well, because remember my first apartment. Yeah. I threw a rug down.
Yeah.
I had all.
It's wood floors here. There's no like rugs or anything. So yeah.
Yeah, it was still, even then it was not.
But honestly, I can rent an office space here for about $100 a month, $120 a month for
right.
And like a nice space in like an office building somewhere here. So it's so cheap here, man. You guys got to come check it out, dude. Yeah, you and Jess got to come for like a week or something.
Yeah, I told Jess that, like, listen, depending on how the economy goes and how things are in a year from now when my lease is up, I said, listen, we may just buy a regular house.
Yeah.
And rent a studio. I'll just rent a place because I can't keep doing this out of the house.
Yeah.
So, here's what I was going to say is that what the Russian guy is saying, what's his name?
Sergey Pavlovich.
So I like the idea of that. That's what I think that the Clips channel, since what we're doing is we're taking the long form content and we're clipping it up into maybe 3 or 4 different little, you take a 2-hour piece of content and you say, okay, here's a story here. This one's 22 minutes. This one's 17 minutes. This is 11 minutes. And we're cutting those up into 3 or 4 sections, putting a thumbnail on them and posting them on the Clips channel. So what I'm suggesting is from now on, we just do scammers, scammers, fraud. Right. Because those are the ones that are getting views.
Yes.
If you go back and look through the whole channel, like those tend to be the ones that are getting views.
The ones with Six, the ones with Zach, the ones with the other one, those are the ones getting the views. Yeah. So I think it's time to kind of tweak it a little bit now and start going full on just scammers and what have you.
And listen, all black guys. No. So why not? We'll call it Black Clips. So who I interviewed 2 other scammers, also black guys. But great stories. Oh, you know who else did well on that channel was Sydney. This guy Sydney that I interviewed, but it was a scam too. It was the Nike scam.
Yeah, I like the Sydney. I don't even know the guy, and because I edited all those shorts and I edited the clips for him. I like that guy.
Yeah, everybody loves him.
He's a likable guy. He's just he's just got that some kind of aura about him. The way he speaks, he's just like he's a big teddy bear. Like he's just a good guy.
Yeah, he's mentioned, hey, if you want me to come back and do another video, I was like, he said, I got a bunch of other stories.
Yeah, he would probably be another good one to have back on. Yeah.
So yeah, I think what I'm going to do is send you these additional videos and we'll just start cutting those up, and then maybe not because you've been releasing them where it's like, you'll take one video and you release one clip after another clip, like maybe stagger them, like one of Zach, one of Sydney, one of, not just because if you don't like that person, then they've got a week.
Then for the next 3 days, all it is that person. You're not going to watch the channel.
Right.
So rotate them, rotate this person, that person, this person, that person. Yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, I think that's probably because somehow or another, we got to get that channel up and running, get some more subscribers.
Yeah. Well, I don't really, all I do is upload it and then I don't really do anything with it. So I'm not answering the comments. I'm not, you know what I mean? Like, so I think I should probably be answering comments, liking things, responding, because that shows YouTube that the channel is active and somebody's, interacting with the algorithm with, the people who are interacting with the video. So
can you answer as, like right now, I think you're you're listed as an editor or a manager or something? Like, when you answer, it's not answering as me, is it? Can you answer as that person?
I don't know.
We have to check that, because it'd be like if you could answer as John Boseak or as whatever manager or editor or something.
Administrator, yeah, page administrator.
Yeah, because like I've been pretty good. Like I haven't ever had anybody answer as me. People have made YouTube channels as me and answered people, but I've not, like Colby doesn't go out and answer people as me.
Yeah.
But it'd be cool if, like, because you're running it. So how's your channel?
My channel's doing well, man. I'm almost at 16,000 subscribers. I'm gaining about 1,500 subscribers every month. Last month I had 160,000 views on the channel. I do a live stream pretty much every other day. Every time I do a live stream, I get between 10,000 and 30,000 views on the live stream, and like 200 subscribers every time. People donate. My channel is starting to make, I think it made like $500 last month. I'm getting that check for like $500 this month from YouTube. So that's the most money I've ever made from my YouTube channel,
That's only been like a month or so. Like you've only been doing this
2 months. 2 months. That's all it took, was 2 months. And so because before December, I didn't put any content up for a year.
Right.
So I really only been making videos since like December, and here we are in February. And I got my Patreon, which is doing good. I got like 17 Patreon subscribers right now, paying $10 each. I have my merch store that I just launched last week. Super professional Spotify, great t-shirt designs. So, and I've already sold 5 or 7. I already had like 5 or 6 sales for my t-shirts. So, and dig this. I found a place.
Designs were cool. They were cool. Like when I saw them, I was fucking immediately jealous. Like I was like, fuck. Like, how did that, like, those are like super. Remember the guy that was going to sue me?
Yeah.
Talking about suing me? Like,
those are better than that.
Those are way better.
Yeah.
I mean, his are good too. His are good.
I just figured it out. I watched a tutorial on YouTube on somebody who had a merch store, and they were showing this is how you design tees. This is the resources. This is the website you go to download the free PNG. I forget what they're called. It's like some kind of clip art. And that's what I use as the main image for my t-shirt design, are these free clip art images. And then I just downloaded font packs from the internet, and then I just throw everything into Photoshop. I throw the clip art in, and then I just play with the font. I can bend it. I can change the color. I can do a gradient on the font. I can add little splashes in the background, whatever. And yeah, they're awesome. They're selling. The fucking t-shirts are actually selling. But dig this. There's a place right down the street from here, like a mall. It's called Fortune Town, which it's not really, it's a mall, but it's more of like just like a business complex. And they like sell like electronics and other, but on the 4th floor, there's a place that does screen printing t-shirts. And
screen printing?
What's that?
Like real screen printing?
They do both. So they do heat press and they do screen printing. I haven't had them make any screens yet because I want to see which designs do the best. And then I'm going to pick the best one, like the top selling design. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to have the screens made so that they can do the screen. But like literally 100, 200 feet down from the t-shirt place is the place where that mails everything out. It's like the, it's almost like a UPS store, but they don't call them UPS stores here.
Right.
It's just like a random company name, and they do like shipping. They do domestic and they do global. So I send the guy the PNG file and the size shirt I want. He sends me a mock-up that like an hour later to show me exactly where he's going to put it on the shirt, where it's going to look like. He makes the shirt. I show up. I pick the shirt up from him. I walk down a couple stalls and I mail it out. So it's like I got the whole like thing streamlined.
What does it cost to mail it somewhere to the United States?
So I charge shipping. I do UPS international, so it's like, I don't know, like $9 or something like that for like, but when you go to shipping, when you go to checkout, you can pick which option of shipping you want, and then it calculates by your zip code and charges you shipping. So I don't even pay shipping; the customer pays shipping. And for anything domestic here in Thailand, I ship it for free. I offer free shipping because I shipped a t-shirt the other day here in Thailand, and it was like 22 baht to ship it, which is less than $1. It was like 80 cents. to ship my T-shirt here in Thailand. So I don't even charge shipping here in Thailand. I only charge for international. Yeah.
We'll have to have Colby insert the commercial you sent.
Oh, oh! I forgot I made that. I haven't even put that out.
Are you serious?
I haven't even put it out. Because I didn't like the audio. I thought the audio because I don't have a microphone, so I recorded the audio on the audio recorder on my iPhone, and then I just kind of made the slideshow and I added the audio, and I tried to tweak the audio a little bit to make it sound better, but I haven't even put it out. I want to make a better one, but no, he can cut that in. Yeah, absolutely. Anything to get me some more sales.
All right, everyone. You asked for it, so now you got it. The official John Boseak merch is here. I've read all of your messages, and I've listened to your comments asking when I was going to drop some merch. Well, guess what? The wait is over. I've put together a collection of bold, bright, and straight-up fire designs inspired by my own personal likes and style. Whether you're a day one supporter or just found the channel, I made sure there's a little something for everyone, including the gays. I got you covered too, because, let's be real, the gays love Boseak. So if you want to support the channel, rep the brand, or just flex some dope tees, hit the link in the description and grab yours today. This is a limited run. Don't sleep on it. Once they're gone, they're gone.
Listen.
Not bad,
nice.
Right? Not bad.
Yeah.
I just did that in my free part and fucking around here in the kitchen.
I didn't think the audio was bad. But
there's a few points. Well, I know because I recorded it, so I'm gonna notice it, and other people might not. But there was a few times where it spiked and it crackled, and I couldn't fix it in post. But
the fact that you laugh when you say the gays,
I couldn't. I tried to record it. I tried to record it 3 times, and I couldn't not laugh at that point.
Yeah, the laugh. That's what makes it. It's funny. Like it's perfect for you to say that
because the gays always come on my live for whatever reason. When gay men are flipping through their live streams and they see me, they have to stop and they have to tell me how good I look, and they have to ask me how many inches and all this other.
Pull it out, show it to us.
Yeah. Whip it out, whip it out. I bet Boseak's hung. Just stupid comments, dude. It's just like, what the hell? So you know what? You guys love me. Buy my goddamn t-shirts, and I got something for you. I got something for everybody.
I like that the main design is on the back, and then you have just a small design here. I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah, so I put the big, it's the same design. I just shrunk it down and put it right because I always see the t-shirts with the little design here and nothing on the back, and I'm like, why not just put the big design on the back, and then have the little one on the front, or put the big design on the front and have nothing on the back.
I mean, you saw the one I did was we had my emblem here. Listen, but I can't wear it. Like I thought about starting to wear them. Like I thought about doing that. Like I want to do one. What I want to do is I want to find a local screen printer that I can go to, buy the shirts myself, because my problem is a lot of the shirts I don't like. Although the guy that made them in California for me, they're cotton. They're
all of those print-on-demand companies, dude. Every time I've ever done a merch store through the print-on-demand companies, it was straight garbage. Like people would get it and they would send me like, look, this is not. So it's like, and that's why I like here, because I can go, I can put my hands on the shirts. I can see their operation. I can see what printers they're using. And, so it was,
Well, yeah, that's the problem, is that everybody's like, you got to do merch. You got to do. Yeah, I know. But the merch that I've been doing, and I took it down. It just sucks. I'm not going to wear the shirt myself. The shirts don't fit good.
Yeah.
I don't like them. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do the fucking hot print. It's a fucking sticker. I'm not going to do, which maybe it's stupid. Maybe I should just say, fuck these guys. Let them, they can get what they get. But that's bullshit. Like, I don't want to sell you something I wouldn't wear.
So I just had some shirts made, and they were the hot prints, and dude, they're not that bad. Like, they are fucking, like, the quality of the image, it's really good. Now, I don't know how they're going to hold up after 100 washes and 100 dries. You know what I mean? They might just look more broken in, but I mean, we've yet to reach that point. But I mean, as far as the initial product, when I get my hands on it, I'm like, oh my God. Like, I was surprised. I didn't think they were going to be that nice. Cause you know what I mean? Cause like I gave them the design for like a 300 DPI. So I gave them the right, so their printers over there were really, really good. At least where I'm getting them done now. When I looked at the t-shirts, I was like, oh, these are nice.
So there's a guy in California that actually did screen prints, huge company, does screen prints, made some samples. You saw the samples. I like the shirt. I like the samples. I like everything. Jess and I even made a video about it. Sorry to interrupt the video, you guys, but we just came up with these really cool t-shirt designs. We're opening up a store. We're gonna have a bunch of stuff on it. If you're interested, go in the description box and click on the link to buy one. Right. I like everything about it. Here's the problem. When I turned around, I said, okay, bro, listen, like I want to buy them and I want to start a Shopify store. And that way, when somebody orders them, they order them from me. I can mail them out myself. Their minimum order for screen prints is 1,000 shirts.
That's probably like, what, $2,000?
I'm not going to spend $2,000, 1,000 shirts. They're like $12 a shirt. That's $12,000. I'm not spending $12,000. I might sell 5 fucking shirts a month. I'll have them forever.
Yeah.
They'll deteriorate in the
yeah. The bugs will get to them. And I was trying to figure that whole thing out over here, and luckily Thailand is like, especially Bangkok, there's so many little places like screen printers and t-shirt designs, and there's such an abundance of little places like that I can go to here. So
see, I need somebody local that does screen printing that I can bring. I'll just buy the fucking shirts, buy them, bring them to him. He screen prints them. I put them on a rack. I set up my store, and then I want to sell other stuff on the store. Like I want to have different design shirts, just like you. I may just go to your place. But I do like some of the designs I came up with. So go to that. We'll see, but I don't know. I think probably I've got some good designs. So go with that, make a store. And then I want to sell other silly stuff on there. Handcuffs, silly stuff, caution tape, some silly stuff that people buy, whatever, signature. Like I'll do stuff like you did with the dollar bills. I'll have $1, maybe I'll sign $1.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about those. Those would be cool. I should get back into doing those and put them on my Shopify. Oh, also on my Shopify, I'm doing snack boxes. So like Korean snacks, snacks from Japan, Thailand snacks, sodas and stuff that you can't get in the United States. I'm packaging all those in boxes and selling those on my Shopify as well. And I'm always constantly thinking of new products to get up on the Shopify. So hopefully over the next 6 to 8 months, that'll prove profitable for me.
Listen, if I did that and that store made a profit of $200 a month, that's 20. Everybody's like, oh, it's nothing. What does it matter if I literally had to spend a day or two to set the whole thing up, you print out all the stuff, you make the investment of a couple $1,000, you print up the stuff, you stick it on a shelf, and every time an order comes in, you take it, you stick it in the bag or the box, you mail it. Like that is not a lot of effort for an extra $2,400, $2,500 a year.
Yeah.
So you think about it, those 2 days, you just made $2,500 in 2 days. I'm not going to make $25,000 on a store a year.
Yeah.
But an extra 2,000 here, 5,000 here, 1,000 here. In the end of the year, you look back and you go, Jesus, I got all these little projects. But that's what pays your bill.
I'm going to go to this little place here that prints stickers, and I'm going to have a bunch of stickers printed with my face and my YouTube logo, and I'm just going to send them out with the t-shirts.
Yeah.
It's like an added bonus. Yeah.
Right. Well, the thing too, when you do through Shopify, if you're sending it out yourself, do you get their email address?
So they either put in their phone number or their email address when they fill out the form when they're placing the order, and then when I ship, I just upload the tracking, and it either sends them an email letting them know that their order is shipped and here's the tracking, or it sends them a text message.
Right. So you're building you can build an email list with that.
And also on my Shopify, I have on the main page, I have a landing page for my Shopify. And right at the bottom of the page, I sign up for I have a monthly, you can put in your email address so you can sign up for deals and coupons, and new t-shirt releases will get sent to your email and all that stuff. So
nice.
Yeah. I got it streamlined.
I got to figure this out. Yeah. The problem is that I spend all my time writing books Garth Brooks is a serial killer, and which is
very, very frugal adventure, very frugal venture.
But I like it. The dark humor involved in writing this fucking thing, and the research, and how much fun. Listen, the amount of fun I have had writing this book is it's amazing. I mean, I can't.
It's gonna be fun when it gets released.
Yeah, I think there's a listen. I've already talked to several podcasters that are like, bro, you got to come on and do something on it. Like you've got to, like go through the whole. And I'm going to do the whole thing deadpan. I'm going to do it absolutely serious. Absolutely, he's a monster. He's a monster. Listen, I think I told you this. Some of the cases that I've found are so. Like, when you read them, like I was reading to Jess, like, listen to this. And I read her the case, like literally the person ends up missing, right next to the stadium where he was. The body, the car, the body's placed in the car, driven off somewhere else and dumped. Like they dump the body somewhere, one place, they leave the car somewhere else, but the car's left, it's basically about 2 or 3 miles from the state. Like you could jog back there or walk back there. Like, it's like, okay, this is like, and so that's one, but there's like 3 or 4 that are so close where literally the witnesses are like, this guy was there in a semi truck. He was 6 foot tall with brown hair in his 30s. That was exact perfect for Garth Brooks.
Yeah.
The girl ends up missing. Her car stays and this is at a come on, Matt. It's at a rest stop. At a rest stop along the tour, she's going to college. He's changing from one concert to another. They both pass. So they're both along, the same route. So they probably could have stopped at the same truck stop or rest stop. She disappears. He goes to his next concert. He then goes to another concert. Her body, 5-6 days later, a week later, they find her body en route to another place where he was going. Now, granted, whatever, it's coincidence. But if you write it up correctly, it's like you're like, wow, like that's
fun.
Yes, like this is, and you start adding those up. You start going, they ought to take a look at this guy.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of fun just to write it. And of course, there's some that are just like, obviously 99% of all of them, it could be anybody. It's just circumstantial evidence. It means nothing, but still, like I said, a lot of fun. I can't wait to start interviewing psychiatrists, and I got an FBI agent that's going to let me interview him that's worked on serial killer cases. Put that shit in there. Oh, it's going to be good shit. What else are you good? Can you think of anything else?
I'm just living my life over here in Thailand. I'm enjoying myself. The air pollution made me sick, like physically. It's bad. Like it didn't affect me for like the first couple months I'm here, but it hit me pretty hard. I've been sick the past couple days. Like I thought I had the flu or COVID or something, but it's the PM. It's the air quality here. Literally made me sick.
You have allergies. Is it the allergies, or you're saying it's not the allergies?
The PM. It's the particles per million. It's the air pollution here. It's bad. It's like there's a fog all day long. Like but it's not fog. It's because they burn all the crops up north every year. The farmers do, and all of that smoke, for agriculture, and all that smoke comes down into Bangkok, and it mixes with plus the automobiles here and the industry, and it's bad. So I've literally been sick for the past couple of days, and because I've been running around out in the pollution. I'm like, this isn't affecting me. Ha. Everybody's got masks on and shit. Dude, I've been sick, dude, the past couple of days, like fucked up, like sore throat, like just fucking sick. Today's like the first day I've actually felt kind of normal. So that's like that's the only downside to living here is the air pollution, and it's only certain times of the year. It's not all year.
It's seasonal. So it's seasonal.
It's seasonal. It's when they burn the crops. It is what it is. It's a trade. It's a trade-off I'm willing to make. Well,
your condo, what you're on? What are you on? Like the 20th, 30th floor or something?
30th.
Like that, or what? 30th floor condo, brand new. Nobody's lived there.
Nope.
It's about $700 a month.
Yep.
Everything's brand new.
Infinity pool on the roof, 2-story gym on the 41st floor, 24-hour concierge. I have an app where I can order maid service. I can order whatever I want to the room. Yeah, to my condo. It's nice. It's nice. For the first time in my life, I'm actually like really just waking up every day and like, man, I walk in the living room and I open those blinds and I see the city and I'm just like, man, what kind of life am I living right now, dude? It's cool. It's nice, man. It's nice paying $3 for a meal that back home would cost me $27. You know what I mean? It's nice being able to order an Uber and it costs $3.50 to ride, 25 minutes on the back of a motorbike. You know what I mean? The city never sleeps. Like I can leave my house at 3 a.m. and there's places open where I can go to eat at a restaurant, and I could go to a nightclub, or I can do whatever I want to do. Like anything you could ever imagine, it's right here, and it's at your fingertips, and it's affordable.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I don't want to oversell the place. Actually, this place is horrible. Don't even worry about it. Don't come here. We're full. There's enough people here already.
I went to H&R Block yesterday to do my taxes.
Really?
It was $30 in an Uber to get there, plus, $7 for the tip. And then it was $38 to get back because it was,
if I paid that for an Uber here, I could get like an hour and a half car ride. I would be able to drive somewhere for like an hour and a half away for about $30. Cause that's like 1,000 baht, 1,000 Thai baht, which is like, you don't ever get charged 1,000 baht to go anywhere here unless you're going like an hour away, hour and a half away. And for 1,000 baht, I can get one of those luxury vans with the big captain's chairs with the leather seats and the TVs and everything, like a personal chauffeur. Yeah.
So if you have a U.S. income, like you're a digital nomad or something, going there is like
you don't need much. You don't need much. Yeah. You just need a few $1,000s every month to really enjoy life over here. To really, really enjoy life. Yeah.
No, you did. That was a good video. That video you did where you break it down. I like the way you broke it down into 3 different sections.
$1,000 a month, $2,000 a month, and $3,000 a month. I did 3 different budgets. I did what kind of apartment you could afford on every budget, what kind of food budget you could have for every budget for the month. Yeah. That video does that video's doing pretty well actually.
Hey, you guys, I appreciate you watching. Do me a favor, go. We're gonna leave the link to Boseak's channel. Really appreciate you guys watching. Also, we'll leave his Spotify. We'll leave his Shopify link also, and probably a couple other links for him. Once again, appreciate you watching. Do me a favor, subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much. See ya.